We're live!
Yay!
Hey! All right, so welcome this evening to our very special edition. We have a very special guest for our webinar tonight on how to stand out and monetize creating your own video content. Ben Rifken from Chicago, from the US, who is currently living and has been living in Lisbon. So we're very happy to have you tonight. Thank you for doing this interview class, whatever you want to call it. So welcome everyone. Thank you for connecting tonight. My name is Katja Hansel. I am a business coach, I'm a motivational trainer, and I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple of travel agencies and also a coaching academy in Rome, Italy. So we are here tonight to talk about how to make video, how to convert, how to do a lot of different things. And I'm very excited to have Ben here with us. Thank you for being here, Ben, because Ben has been has been making videos actually for over 10 years now. You've been doing commercials and other things. Tell us a little more about yourself for a couple of minutes, and then we'll say hi to the rest of the bunch that's connecting as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So I make videos. I've been doing it, like Katja said, for about 10 years. I started out just freelancing, and since then I got a bachelor's in television production at Columbia College in Chicago. I worked right out of college at a startup doing video marketing because I kind of wanted to I had the creative side of things that I learned myself, and then I wanted to also get the business and the marketing side of things. So I did that for a few years, and I absolutely loved it. And then I left. I decided to move to Portugal because Portugal is an amazing country, and I wanted to kind of start a life here. And when I got here, I worked for about 9 months at a creative agency here on the video team. And then I left last year to do full-time freelance once again, because that's honestly what I love doing the most.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, so let's ask our audience where you're connecting from. If you may wish to write into the chat and tell us where you're from, and also if you're already video makers. Any of you, are you already making your own videos? Please type in yes or no, not yet, because we would like to find out why you're here tonight so we can help you. And later on, we'll also have a question and answer session, so you'll be able to ask Ben whatever questions you may have, okay? So, hello. Please write in the chat where you're from, and if you're already video makers, let's see, I need my glasses. Sophie, no, not yet. Laura, let's see. Well.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Laura.
Okay. As we go, we will look at the answers of everyone. So tell us a little more, Ben. If we have people who are not video makers yet, for instance, do you need to be a pro? Do you need to have studied to become a video maker? Because as we know, video is becoming more and more important. We have one of the executives of Facebook who just said that by 2021, it'll be mostly video and no more text on Facebook. Maybe it'll take a little longer, but I mean, we're almost there. So people watch videos much more likely than they actually read a newsletter or a text of whatever, kind. So tell me, do you need to be a pro, or tell us more?
You absolutely do not. Wouldn't it be funny though if I just said yeah, like you have to have 15 years of experience? No, it's actually there are very easy tips and tricks and things that you can do to start bumping up the quality of your own videos right away, no matter what kind of stuff you're doing. And as to the statistics that you mentioned, yeah, it's hugely important, which is great for me, because when I started doing video, it wasn't nearly this important. But it has become like the #1 way to communicate a message, whether it's for your business, promoting your services, sending a message, pretty much everything relies on video now. If you open up like Facebook or Instagram, odds are the first thing that you're going to see is a video. And so, yeah, there's never been a more, I sound so salesy, there's never been a more important time to start learning video. But it's actually true. It's a super useful skill, even if you're just making travel videos or videos for yourself.
I think, especially during this time of lockdown, a lot of people have been on their phones constantly, just killing time. And I always say that it's such a waste of time to watch other people's content rather than to make your own and maybe monetize and make money with it, no? So, yeah, and especially during this period of lockdown where this has been an incredible opportunity for a lot of people who especially are influencers who are, online showing their videos, even of very silly things. But I think one of the main problems that people have is to get in front of the camera. Do you think it's easier to be behind the camera taking videos of someone, or are you ever also in front of the camera?
I'm a little biased. I much prefer to be behind the camera normally, but I do love teaching video skills, so that puts me in front of the camera a lot. So I've kind of gotten used to it. Once you learn how to create a lot of video, then it becomes easier and easier. But yeah, I mean, honestly, there's no better way than to just dive in. It's never going to be the most comfortable experience right away. A lot of people don't like the way they look or the way they sound on video, but once you kind of do it a few times, it becomes easier and easier. And honestly, it's really, really helpful for everybody. I can tell you, like, when I first got to Portugal, I was looking for more work. And there's a lot of people who do what I do, and so it's really important to stand out. And so instead of just sending emails to different companies, production companies, agencies, I recorded videos, and I used one of my nicer cameras with a really sharp lens, and I made like a intro video for them. I was like, hey, like so-and-so company, like my name is Ben, like here's some of my work, and in that same video, I cut together some of my actual work, so like they'd be kind of forced to watch some of my reel like right away. Which, by the way, for anybody who want to see my work, we can link to that reel in the chat. But
yeah, let's actually show Ben's video so you can kind of get an idea of what Ben does. So.
But after sending those out with the personalized videos, even the responses were just like glowing. It was a much higher response rate than I'd ever gotten just sending out cold emails. Because people were stunned that I'd taken the time to actually do that, even though I like recorded them one after the other. So the power of video, even if you're looking for a new job, is immense.
Video is the way to go. Absolutely. Okay, here's Ben's reel. Here we go. Actually, pay attention to like the time lapses he uses and the fast forwards and so on. It's just so beautiful.
Thank you. It might be a little skippy, but you can get the idea.
No, comment. Go ahead and tell us something about this, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this footage was shot handheld. Actually, most of it, almost 90% of it was handheld.
Without a gimbal.
These clips right here were gimbal, but the shots of the guy drawing, all that stuff was handheld. Though there are very simple tricks that you can pick up that you can do with your phone and free editing software to do all this. Like this stuff is handheld, that was handheld. So you can get like these kind of like shaky, candid stuff, but also like all this stuff you can do handheld as well. So they're not difficult tricks. They're just not as commonly used when it comes to like consumer stuff, like just picking up your smartphone. But yeah, so you gotta get a sense for that kind of stuff. These are hyperlapses. So for those of you that don't know, hyperlapses are just time lapses where you are moving throughout. So you take a picture, you take a step, take another picture, take another step. They can be a little tedious to make. They can take some time, but I really enjoy making them. I find them very calming because it's just kind of a repetitive motion, and something I do when I travel as well.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
yeah.
And now we all want to go travel to Lisbon.
Yes.
Was it not?
Honestly, like if I wasn't a video creator, I might not have been as attracted to Portugal as I was and still am. I mean, it's an amazing place for people who do what I do, or people who like photography. You know, there's over 300 days of sunny weather per year. Like some of the best food and destination spots to visit. So,
you know, Italians may actually argue about
that. And you haven't been to Greece yet, maybe.
I would expect nothing less.
Well, that's for some other webinar then. But in any case, tell us more about what you actually need to make a video. But before you start, you know, I would like to ask our audience, and hello everybody. Now there are more people coming in. Tell us where you're from, please. Type into the chat where you're from. If you already make video, yes or no, just write yes or no. And what, especially everyone, what you use to make videos with, your phone or a camera. If you've ever made a video on your own, tell us if you use your iPhone or your Android or a real professional camera, for instance. That would be very, very interesting for, I think, Ben to know, to tell you more about the equipment that you may need to make it work better. So.
Yeah, and if you don't make videos yet, if this is like your first introduction to video production, that's absolutely fine. That's why we're doing this. So it just helps to know, like I want to make sure that I'm giving you information that you can walk away with today to start improving your videos or to start making what you want to make. So the first step in that is just kind of understanding where people are at and what their goals are.
So I see, you know, people are shy today. Hey, you guys are shy. Tell us where you're from. Okay, Sophie, I would think is from France, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have Gisela from Argentina. Hola. Mateja from Slovenia. Hey, we're pretty international today. Okay.
Awesome.
So, okay, Laura prepared a mini video with her tablet. Okay, cool. Okay, so that would be really interesting to know if you use your iPhone or your Android or your camera.
I'm also curious, just like why people are here. Like, what do you want to make videos for? Is it just kind of for yourself? Is it for work, for your business? Maybe you want to take some nicer video of your pets. I'm just curious to know like what people are really interested in learning.
So yeah, tell us why you're here. Sophie is in Rome. Okay, Gisela uses her Android.
A lot of Android users here. Actually,
you know, I think most people these days just do it the instant way. They use their phones, you know, because it's just so much easier because you can upload things onto Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Is that your experience too, that most people use just their simple phones?
Honestly, you can. Like at this point, like that was not the case 5 years ago, but now it is. Like you can shoot 4K video that's better quality than even some cameras on your phone now. So there's no like barrier for entry. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a camera. You can start with what's in your pocket and still create amazing stuff.
Okay.
Short videos.
Olga just said she is preparing things for Zoom on her iPhone. Hi, Olga. You're still on vacation. Lucky you. Okay. Okay, perfect. So just so we get an idea of, you know, what you guys use, so Ben can actually tell us more about what other equipment you may integrate it with. So
yes, absolutely.
To present my country as a tourist destination. Okay, for Slovenia. Perfect. Hi, Joyce. I do short videos with Samsung, but with 4K capability. Okay, planning to have my own. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, YouTube is a great way to promote your content, to grow your audience. And for a lot of people now, it's a very easy way to make money. I also understand that we are living in the era of TikTok and that has been an explosion in smartphone video as well. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are interested in that as well. But I saw Laura talking about video for tours and courses. So that's huge. Like people creating videos to increase tourism, to help draw people into visiting new places. It's huge. I've been approached a dozen times during the quarantine from different hotels and different hostels, places like that for video content, because that's what everybody needs right now. So Katja, I actually just sent you in a private chat. I sent a link. For some reason it's not letting me post, but if you could put that link in the public one, it's a list of techniques. So if you are looking to buy equipment,
the link that Ben sent, please. Okay.
If you are looking to buy some equipment,
just a second, but tell us more about, if you have an iPhone or an Android, what other equipment is essential if you take video content outside, for instance, or you're inside. You probably need a gimbal, a stabilizer, a microphone, I would think. Sometimes if you do it yourself, you may need a selfie stick, perhaps. Tell us more.
Yeah, so actually, if I can share my screen here. Well, oh, there we go. Yeah, the link. So if you click that link, you can see a list of gimbals. Gimbals are little stabilizers that I'm sure everybody has actually seen one way or another because they're very popular right now. But you put your smartphone on it, and it has you have the ability to walk around and create really smooth video. And so this is like, honestly, if you're creating videos for a travel destination, whether it's like apartment tours or tours of an island, for pretty much anything that you want to create smooth video for, these things are amazing. You don't have to break your bank on them. There are some very affordable options for smartphone gimbals, as you can find in this little article here. So if you're looking to create some smooth type videos, this is like the first thing that I recommend. Absolutely, that's one for GoPros. I wanted to
show you guys, this is a gimbal. This is a stabilizer, and you can take footage of people running, and it won't move. It'll move with the motion. It's just really so cool. I love it. And can you attach your Android or your iPhone also?
Yes. So in the article, in the post that I just sent that you guys can click on in here, those are all for your smartphone. So they're great for that. The other thing that I will say, and also for everybody listening, if you want to take some information away from this, I recommend opening up like a little notes document on your computer, so you can just copy and paste these links and write down a couple of things that I'll talk about that'll really help. So I definitely recommend getting one of these if you want to create some smooth video like that. They're super helpful, and they're really easy to use for affiliate products. I'm just reading some comments that are coming in. I'll get to that absolutely in a second. I will say, with every smartphone camera, you have the opportunity to fix your exposure. So what that means is, if you aim your phone at a dark area and then a light area, the brightness of your image won't automatically change. And just by holding your finger down, this works for most phones, just hold your finger down on the screen until it blinks, until it says like fixed exposure. That's great, because then when you move it around, it won't suddenly change brightness, and you'll be amazed at how much that bumps up the quality of your videos of your smartphone, because that's the first thing that makes a video look really cheap when it's shot on a phone is, the brightness is going up and down, and it just kind of looks like it was shot out of a tin can. So starting right there is already going to produce some great results.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. That's great stuff. The most important thing when we do anything, trying to sell a service or product, is to know our avatar, our client, our target group, no? Because before you start doing anything, you need to know exactly who those people are that you're making this for, because you kind of need to slip into their skin and find out who they are before you do anything. So I believe that that's the most important thing before even starting with any product or any project, let's say.
Yeah.
Once you have your target, you know who your target is. What do people do? How does one create and finish their video and then market it? I mean, obviously there's also some editing to do most of the time, and then you need to reshoot the video several times probably.
Yeah, so I heard somebody in here mention like product videography and product marketing. So the same way that you would build and this is like the first thing that I recommend to everybody when they're starting to make a video is a video that's not for themselves, a video that's supposed to accomplish something, is you want to write down what you want that video to accomplish. So are you trying to increase sales? Are you trying to get more like subscribers in your YouTube channel? Like write down your goal first, and that'll help clarify every single step in the video production process. So once you've done that, in the same way that when you're building a brand or building a product, you want to know who your user is. So like, is it a demographic that skews men or women? Is there a specific job that these people have that, like where do they hang out online? Like what kind of videos do they like watching? And then you find those videos and you figure out what about those videos they like why do those connect with them? So the more information that you can get about the person you're creating the video for, the better. The more times they'll watch it, the more times they'll share it. So it's a really, really important step to figure out what your audience wants to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very important. I very much agree. So you need the purpose of your video, first of all. Okay. And then there's also a lot of editing to do, no? You had this great website for us, for our audience, that I think you mentioned. Can you type that in so we can publish it?
The editing software?
About the editing part. Because once you have, shot your footage numerous times and you've picked out the right scenes, you probably need to cut and maybe add some, subtitles or, what else could they add?
Everything. I mean, there's editing apps that you can even have for your phone. Like iPhone natively has iMovie, but I know I don't know a ton of these apps off the top of my head because usually I do my editing on a computer. But if you just search, you'll find some really easy to use ones on there. The one that we've just posted here is called Shotcut. It's a great free editing software. It's free, which is the best part. But it also very much mimics the look of Adobe Premiere, which is the professional editing software that I use. But that is also not very difficult to use. So if you're not really sure if you want to start spending money on software, you can try Shotcut. You can kind of get used to it because there's a lot of similarities between that and Adobe Premiere. So yeah, it's a free download. There's lots of tutorials online. If you just Google Shotcut tutorial beginner, you'll see a lot of videos that teach you how to do the basics, and that'll get you started really easily.
You can do voiceovers, you can do subtitles, special effects, time lapses,
absolutely,
fast forwards, whatever you need. Okay, so you don't need a second person to edit your video necessarily. Is that what you're saying?
No, you definitely don't. I mean, you can always hire somebody like me, but if you're saving some money, or if you want to start incorporating video into your own strategy, I highly suggest getting Shotcut. I talk to a lot of people now who, in the current with the pandemic situation, are now teaching courses online. They're promoting their products online. Everybody needs to create videos now, and so I've recommended this one to a lot of people, and it's really helped them get into editing for people who have never touched editing software before. I recommend come in with an open mind. It might be a little tricky at first, but I guarantee you 20, 30 minutes in, you'll start to feel a lot more comfortable with it. It's very user-friendly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How important do you think is it to have a script, a pre-written script of whatever video you need to make? I mean, what's your experience with that?
It entirely depends on the kind of video that you're creating. So if you are, for example, if you're creating like a short film or something like a commercial, something like that has either voices on screen or voiceover stuff, absolutely. It's very important to write out your script before, because you don't want to spend all that time and money reshooting or re-editing, because I've seen it happen even in the most professional situations where they don't really put a lot of time into the scripting, and then we have to go back because they don't like what they wrote. So it absolutely happens. It's very important. But again, if you're just creating a travel video, something that doesn't have very much spoken word stuff, then it's not super important. Is there, just curious to check in with everybody, is there anybody here who wants to create testimonial videos where you're interviewing somebody, to talk about a product or a service or something like that? Because that's something that's always
for hotels, for tour guides, for
super important for those.
Service. Testimonials are always very important.
So another useful tip for people who want to create those types of videos, what I do, and at my old company, they actually flew me all over the US to create testimonial videos for their biggest clients. And what I would do for every single client is I would write out a script beforehand of everything that I wanted that person to say. Like, if my ideal scenario, like, what is my customer going to say? This glowing review about the business to promote the business, so other people who are like customers that are that big will say, like, okay, if they liked it, then I'll like it. So you write out all these answers, and then you start thinking about the questions that would prompt these answers. So you say, if you say, like, it was really, really easy to use, like, that's what you want them to say. And you say, like, you mentioned before that you like the product, like, how easy was it to use? Be descriptive. And then, of course, you get that answer. So if you're selling a product or a service, that's always important to start thinking about. It's probably something you've already thought about, too. If you're selling something, the benefits, the value propositions. It's important to think about regardless, but especially when you're making a video like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What other videos are there? There are snackables. Can you explain what snackables are?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million words for that kind of thing. If you're making, like, you're talking about like food videos, right? Like
no, snackables, like short, very short, entertaining.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
it's like, I'm always down for food videos.
The thought leader videos, where you are an expert of something and you tell people about your expertise and whatnot. That's another one. Or now what there is out there a lot is virtual tours, because a lot of tour guides, for instance, I own a couple of agencies, and I know that a lot of people are considering doing virtual tours now that they can actually be out there, but clients are not coming. So can you tell them something about that? Like, if you wanted to shoot like a video like that, like a virtual tour? Like,
absolutely. So for anybody that wants to shoot like a virtual tour, or like that could even be like the tour of an apartment if you're working in real estate or in hotels, something like that. The gimbal that we mentioned earlier is super important for that, because that gets you those nice smooth videos. And then I also put a link in here in the private chat about, which you guys can post, a microphone that attaches to your smartphone. And it basically captures all the audio in front of you. So you can capture audio like holding the gimbal in front of your face, like just straight talking head videos of yourself, capturing the sound and environment. Because the second really big tip that I have for all of you guys is to make sure that you invest in audio. If you're going to spend any money outside of the gimbal, I recommend getting a little mic for your smartphone, because we don't really think about it. When we think about a high quality video, we think more about the video itself. But good audio is the difference between a good and a bad video. So I absolutely recommend investing a little bit in that. And these microphones that attach to your smartphone, they're cheap. They're really not that expensive, so they're easy to kind of add, and you'll notice right away there, like, the quality jump in your videos. Even if you're literally just like a story on Instagram.
Okay, great, thank you. I have here's the microphone, for instance. This is very helpful. This is
so that's a lavalier mic.
Especially when you're somewhere outside and it's windy, I think this would be the one to use, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That can't be one of them. The one that I posted was a shotgun mic for your phone, for anybody who's starting out with just their phone. So that one, I can't post that in the chat, but if you guys can repost that. Their lavalier mics are great for anybody who's...
Sorry, Ben. No.
Sorry, for interview stuff, they're fantastic. That's what I use every time I shoot an interview.
And what is it called? What is it called exactly?
The one that you just posted, lavalier mic.
Oh, that's a lavalier.
Yeah.
We use that.
Yeah. The other one is a shotgun mic. So shotgun mics are used kind of out in the field, like if you're shooting out in the open or if you're shooting selfie videos, stuff like that, and you just want to capture the audio to improve the quality, but not to you don't need anything special.
So when I started shooting, I have to say, I was always feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to be pathetic in front of the camera, and that was kind of like the biggest fear I had. I mean, it's human, no, to be full of fears and stuff like that. And I think most people who are connected, they're thinking or are interested in making videos probably of something they sell or a product or service, whatever it is. What if people actually have those fears? I mean, you have been in commercials and stuff like that, shooting people. So like shooting footage for people. So what is your advice if that fear comes up?
Again, like no matter what skill you're learning, confidence is built by repetition. So if you are planning on recording some stuff with yourself in front of the camera, you've got your light set up, you've got your camera ready and your microphone, but you do a take and you're like, wow, that was awful. Like, don't stand up and walk away. Just turn the camera off and just run through it. Just run through it 15 or 20 times. Exactly. Like when I record my online courses, I have water and coffee next to me, like tissues. I have like everything that I might need throughout the process, and that way I can just pause the video and take some time for myself. So like, it's important to make yourself comfortable. The first time you're in front of the camera is never fun. But I will say this: I've filmed a bunch of executives who have never stood in front of a camera lens in their lives, and they still made it through the process of me grilling them in interviews. So if they can do it, so can all of you. This is the mic that I was talking about earlier.
A tripod right here with attached a microphone. Yep. This could also be very helpful, a helpful tool. Now, tell us, Ben, what are the things to remember when you're shooting? Like, what things do you have to remember? Like, for instance, the lighting, and I mean, there's so many variables, no, and things that need to be in place when you're shooting. So time of day, dark place, light place, sun in your face, sun in the back. So tell us more about this.
Yeah, and that's like aside from the audio quality, lighting is the other pillar of video. That makes the difference between a good video and a bad video. So if anybody is already using lights, like let me know in the comments. Tell me like what you're using or what you've liked using, what you think looks best, because I'm always interested to see what people are using. But when it comes to lighting, there's nothing better than natural light. It's very cheap because it's very available. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to order anything on Amazon. But natural light is always the best, especially when you get soft light. So sunlight is tricky. It creates very hard shadows on your face. But lights like this are nice and soft, so they create kind of a glow. Like both me and Katja right now have ring lights in front of our faces. So they create kind of a nice, like soft glow without being like too intense and too hard. So cloudy days are honestly some of the best days for shooting outside. I highly recommend going out and shooting stuff on cloudy days. If you are planning on shooting on a sunny day, make sure you're facing towards the sun so you're not backlit, because if the light's coming from the back, then you're just going to be a shadow and nobody will see your face. And then also, if you can shoot somewhere kind of in the shade, even better. So that way the light is a little bit more soft, diffused, and it'll create more of that glow than the really hard sunlight.
Oh, that's a ring lamp right here that we have. Yep. That's the one Ben mentioned, and he's in Lisbon, and he's never been here, and he knows I'm using a ring lamp.
Yes.
That's one pro.
Yeah, you can always tell they create this nice even glow all around your face. They're very popular for makeup tutorials, for people.
The other day, okay, great.
So if you want to teach any skills online, or you want to do any like regular like vlogging stuff, or create videos for your followers, ring lights are fantastic for that. The one that I have in front of me is a big ring light, and honestly, I spent like 40 euros on it, 50 euros. And you can get ones that are much cheaper, ones that'll clip onto your smartphone even, that are even cheaper. So I highly recommend picking up one of those.
I have another question. What do you do if you live in a small place and you want to shoot a video in your tiny little place with ugly furniture? What do you do?
Excellent question.
Excuse me?
Excellent question. That's a problem that I faced every time I would travel to do a new testimonial video, because I'd be shooting in somebody's office, which is not a movie set. Like, it's just garbage for the most part. So like, you have to kind of work with what you have and you figure out what to do. So usually if people are filming videos at home, do it in front of a window. Like, have whatever's in the background be in the background, but also check your shot. Make sure the room isn't too messy. It always helps to have some plants in the room. I know I don't have any in the background right now, but plants are absolutely great to have in the background. Yes. Yeah, nice.
What do you think about having a green screen? Can you explain to everyone what a green screen is? Yeah,
for those of you who don't know, green screens are helpful for anybody who wants to take out the background from their video. So like, you can do this in any editing software, even in the one that I recommended to you guys. But green screens, I wouldn't recommend getting unless you really need to take the background out. Like, if you want to have yourself sitting in front of like an all white background, but you don't have a studio, or an all black background. But otherwise, you can save your money and just find like a nice area to shoot in, like a living room of either your living room or a friend's living room, somewhere with a nice amount of natural light. And I also recommend shooting which is not what I'm doing right now, but where the background kind of falls off behind you. So I don't recommend usually shooting in front of a wall. I recommend shooting where like you can kind of see the background diminishing behind you.
Oh, okay.
And it always creates some nice depth in your shot. So if you shoot next to a wall, like if there's a wall right here, and then in front of a window, so you have some light, that's usually what I recommend.
Okay, yeah, no, that's great advice. Great advice. I mean, the great thing about the green screen is that you can have any kind of background. You can put any kind of background behind it, no? I mean, that's what we've been using, but it's not very useful when you're blonde, like me. Then the hair tends to be a little greenish.
Yeah. The tricky thing about the tricky thing about green screens is that you have to have the right kind of lighting, and the editing can be difficult if you're not very familiar with how to edit with green screen. If you don't edit it very well, it can look a little bit cheap. So the way that you buy those green screens, you can also buy like white ones. I highly recommend doing that, because you can put that behind yourself, and then you have this kind of like nice white to gray type of gradient behind you. And that also creates a really nice background, so you don't have to worry about the editing afterwards either.
Okay, super. Yeah, no, that's great advice. Okay, now, what do you recommend to like business owners or individuals or professionals that want to make video to help them grow and increase their sales? I mean, how can they use video for that purpose?
Amazing question. And so who in here right now has a business they're trying to promote? Just say me, or I am, or what's up? Because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of you.
I think is the quickest. Type in me. Don't be shy.
Yeah. Yes, we need to know that you're alive. Yeah, so if you are creating a video to promote a product or a service, it's important, again, to figure out where does video fit in your strategy, in your marketing funnel. So right at the top, you've got like awareness, where people are first learning about your business. And then at the very bottom, you've got like when they actually buy. And usually video is best. I mean, you can use video throughout the whole funnel, but usually it's best right at the top. So like you make a video, and then you put an ad out on Facebook with that video, and then people learn about your business. They learn about your service. Paid can sometimes be tricky, especially if you're doing it on a budget. So also just creating a YouTube channel and just creating videos about your product, but also about the lifestyle around your product. So let's say that you have a company for water bottles. You create videos about people who like to hike. And then you just focus on going to cool places and getting footage of people hiking. And you show the product a little bit here and there. Or you shoot a video where they're talking, literally a customer is talking about how much they like the water bottle, like a testimonial video. So you really figure out why people would want to buy your service or product, and then you can kind of figure out what video to make out of that.
awesome advice. Great. That's yeah, fantastic. So what else can you recommend to people? Like what social media channels would you recommend to put videos on these days? You were mentioning TikTok, but that's for a younger audience, I believe, correct?
Yeah, and it's not so much for selling anything outside of your soul. Sorry, I have an issue with sometimes with TikTok. If you're making videos for Instagram, it's usually like lifestyle content. You know, like the lifestyle around your brand or around your product.
Okay.
So like the hiking stuff that we just talked about. If you're making so usually I would recommend putting that stuff there. I mean, people are scrolling through videos of like their friends, people eating ridiculous food, memes. So like they don't want to watch a video like about how your water bottle has the best aluminum, like they want to see something entertaining. So that's where the lifestyle content comes into place. The product content is used towards the middle of the funnel. That's the stuff where people are like, they know about your products and they're almost ready to buy it, but now you need to convince them a little bit more. So that's on your website is where you put more stuff like shots of the water bottle, of the product, talking about the materials, talking about the different options for, like different kinds that you can get. So the more specific product focused stuff you put on your website. Okay,
cool. How important do you think is it to have video content on your website these days?
Extremely important. Yeah, because people bounce rates are very, very high, meaning like people will visit your website and 2 seconds later, like they're gone. Like nobody has an attention span for anything. So if they're going to visit your website, you want to make sure that they stay. And the best way to make them stay is to make a video. It can be a video like lifestyle. It can be a lifestyle or a product video. Like on your homepage, you just want to create something that's attention grabbing that will get them to stay and ask like, what else are they going to talk about? Like, what else do they have to offer? Mm-hmm. So it's important to have video in every part of the process.
Okay, so we mentioned TikTok. That's not so good, but Facebook and Instagram are definitely winners, and also your own website. I had, as I was posting a webinar tonight, a couple of people said, "Oh no, I much rather prefer writing to my clients," and I said, "Yeah, but writing is great once you already have a client, but to get ahead of your competitor and your competition, you need to have people find you." And that's just where video comes in, because I much rather look at a video where I can hear the person talk and I start trusting the person right away, rather than to read an article or a post or whatever, Exactly. So agree?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even if you are just creating something like you shoot a video on your smartphone and then you post that on your website or on Instagram or Facebook, it's a great way to just start getting people engaged with your brand or with, if it's you, like your personal brand, yourself, your personality. So I have friends who are coaches who use those gimbals and they create videos every day just of themselves giving tips or advice, stuff like that. And they're amazing for helping to grow your audience and get people to trust you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just wanted to run this by everyone real quick. We have this list, like it's not really a list, but I mean, look, some of you have already seen this before, but I just find this so interesting. It says 90% of internet users aged 16 to 64 now watch online videos each month. And 90% of them watch online videos on YouTube mostly, watch vlogs, video blogs, where there's some written information and some video, listen to online stations and to podcasts. But I mean, online videos, that's definitely the winner. And it's becoming more and more and more and more that way. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but maybe you may want to actually take a picture of it if you're interested. But what I always find very, very fascinating is that in 2020, this year, 81% of the businesses use video as a marketing tool. Guys, if you're not using marketing videos as a marketing tool just yet, I mean, go ahead and do so, because otherwise you're going to fall behind, especially in this time of COVID. And then, as I mentioned before, and I find this very fascinating as well, is that the Facebook executive predicts that it'll be all video in 2021. So video is definitely the hit and the winner, and it's going to be that way. And 64% of consumers will make a purchase after watching branded videos on social platforms, especially if they can hear your voice, they start trusting you, as we just said. I think that's very, very important. So now we actually have a surprise, because we're not going to leave Ben here and never see him again. We actually have this class coming up. Actually 2 classes. One is a master class, 0 to Hero, on how to create professional videos with Ben, learn how to make a powerful, engaging video and give your audience the best viewing experience. And that's going to happen on September 23rd. It's only 49 euros. And we have limited access. We only have a limited number of people we can accept. And we also have a second one on video editing. If you, only for you guys that you're watching this, if you purchase this together as a package, you save some money. So would you like to actually tell us something about those 2 classes?
Yeah, definitely. So like we touched on a few things today that you can start doing right away, but there's so much more. And the purpose of these classes is to really get into what you guys want to learn. So like, what are your goals with video? Like, why are you doing this? And what do you want to learn? So you tell us that. And then in these classes, I'll basically go over every step of the process. So I'll run you through like exactly the equipment that I recommend, or the ways to shoot like, specifically with a smartphone, like the types of videos that you should be creating, the types of videos that are most effective for different kinds of businesses, or, all these different topics we're going to cover in this first class. So if you're interested in learning more and applying video to your business, your own strategy, I highly recommend. You'll definitely learn a lot. You'll get to ask actual personalized questions. So I can help you specifically with whatever your goals are.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Ben. Listen, thank you so much for your time. We're going to ask everyone, do you have any questions to ask Ben? Please type them into the chat now, so we can tackle them.
Sorry to interrupt. I saw a couple in here that I didn't get to get to here. On your website, the introduction video should last how long? I would say 1 minute. I wouldn't go over 1 minute when you're introducing somebody to your website, to your product, to your service, because that's really all you need. You're telling them why it's valuable, what kind of person it's made for, and just a little bit more information about it. So like you don't need any more than 60 seconds. I would say that's a good length for that. YouTube, I see, is the, sorry, were you going to say something?
Great advice. No, I mean, our videos, like the ones we put on Facebook, for instance, are like 20, 30 seconds long, not longer than that.
That's really
just very short, very concise, because people just scroll and they click. They're very fast. So
exactly.
If you want to be seen, be short and quick and concise.
Yeah. Exactly. For the first video, you make something short, and then once you got them pulled in on your website, you can start putting longer videos to talk about the product more and the services. So the next one, what about YouTube post videos? YouTube is great for building an audience that will come back to you again and again for the kinds of videos that you make. So you don't want to just put sales videos or like just product-focused videos on YouTube. You want to give people a reason to keep coming back to you, whether it's you're giving them advice, you're giving them tips, you're showing them beautiful places they can visit, or restaurants that they can try. It obviously depends on what kind of business that you're working in, but you can always find lifestyle things around your business to promote as well. So like I have a friend, Jans, who has this YouTube channel called In the Mood for Life, and it's really cool. He does partnerships with different hostels, sometimes like hotels, different restaurants, and he basically just travels around and shoots videos. And they hire him just for his own vision. He comes in, he just enjoys whatever it is that they're offering, and creates videos about it. And that kind of content is amazing because I use it even if I didn't know them, I would use it because it's just helpful. You can try a lot of different
and eat
things.
for free, I hope.
Yeah, you can, and it's great because you get to see like high quality stuff, and you can expect, you know what you're expecting when you come back.
Okay,
I see.
great.
Yeah, repeat
So
the little trick with illumination.
please repeat that little trick with illumination.
So I don't know the shortcut on an Android phone, but if you have, you're talking about like the exposure, right? Fixing the exposure, I'm assuming. So if you're taking a video with an iPhone, you can basically, I can actually show you online. If you hold down your finger on the screen, you'll see it pops up. It says AE lock at the very top. That means auto exposure. So I'm assuming Androids work similarly. There's probably, it might be a slightly different trick, but it basically fixes the exposure so that way when you move the camera around, it doesn't adjust the brightness.
It works the same. It works the same.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Educated
guess.
Okay, perfect.
Yours is Korean.
Okay. Oh, mine is Korean. Sorry about that. Okay. Listen, so perfect. So any other questions you guys have? You can also write to us at info@auracoachingacademy.com if you have any questions afterwards, after this webinar. So I guess no more questions right now. I want to thank you very, very much, Ben, for being here with us tonight. Thank you guys for connecting from all around the globe, from Rome, from Croatia, Argentina, from all over. And yeah, would you like to say something to just...
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your questions, for your comments. It was great to connect with you. You can also follow me on Instagram. My tag is literally just my full name. You can see right there. And yeah, if you want to learn more, if you're interested, either if it's for business or for your own personal stuff, highly recommend taking this class. I'll get to dive into a lot of this stuff more deeply and give you some notes to walk away with. And so, yeah, feel free to reach out anytime.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you want to make halfway decent and professional videos, you need a pro to teach you, because, I mean, we've all started, somewhere with our little, phones, selfie sticks and stuff. And yeah, there you go. I'll teach you. That's the first step to success. I would say, now we have professional video makers create our videos for my companies, and I'm just so happy about that. So anyway, thanks so much again, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you, Ben. Have a nice evening. Obrigado.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks a lot. We will be in touch, guys. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.